let me tell you something that's blowing my mind right now. Disney, the same company that brought us Mickey Mouse and Star Wars, is now trying to outsell the NFL with college football simulcasts on Disney+. Think about that for a second. This isn't just about adding a few games to a streaming service. It's a calculated move to trap viewers in a subscription loop. Here's the kicker. They're not even selling these games as a standalone feature. No, they're bundling it with Hulu and ESPN Plus because, let's face it, nobody wants to pay for one streaming service when you can get 3 for the price of one. But here's what's really fascinating. Disney isn't just chasing viewership. They're playing the long game. By making fans engage with ESPN, Disney Plus, and even their theme parks, they're building a loyalty pyramid. Every time you watch a college game on Disney Plus, you're indirectly telling Disney, hey, I'm still a fan of your ecosystem. And that's worth more than any ad revenue ever could be. Now, let's talk about LIV Golf. This league has been a dumpster fire since day one, right? Remember when it was backed by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund? Well, that money dried up faster than a golf course in a drought. But here's the twist. They've found a new investor, and it's not just any investor. The CEO, Scott O'Neill, is saying players will become the majority shareholders. Wait, what? Players owning a league? That's like giving the athletes the keys to the kingdom. In my opinion, this is a seismic shift. It's not just about money anymore, it's about power. If the players are calling the shots, does that mean we'll see more player-driven content? Or worse, more player-driven chaos? And what happens when the next big sponsor pulls out? This feels like a high-stakes poker game where everyone's bluffing, and the stakes are the future of professional golf. And speaking of chaos, ESPN's just rearranged its entire college football broadcasting team. Mike Monaco, Jordan Rogers, and Dana Boyle? Sounds like a group therapy session. But here's the real story. They're replacing veterans with fresh faces. Why? Because ESPN knows that younger audiences are tuning out. They're trying to inject some new energy into the broadcasts, but let's be honest, this feels like a desperate move. If you take a step back and think about it, this is part of a bigger trend. Traditional networks are scrambling to stay relevant in a world where TikTok and YouTube have turned sports commentary into a meme factory. ESPN's new hires might bring some buzz, but will they actually make people care about college football again? Or is this just another attempt to keep the old guard from getting too comfortable? Oh, and while we're on the topic of sports drama, FIFA's Gianni Infantino is still in charge after a PR nightmare about privatizing the World Cup. But here's what's wild. The backlash was so intense that FIFA had to back down. Yet, the man who almost got booted is still running the show. What does that say about the power structures in global sports? It feels like a warning sign. If the most powerful people in the sport can't even agree on basic policies, how are we supposed to trust the future of the game? And don't even get me started on Dick Vitale. The guy's been through 5 cancer battles, and now he's out there saying his treatments are working. That's not just inspiring, it's a reminder that life is fragile, and we should all be grateful for every day we get to play the game we love. But here's the thing that really makes me scratch my head. The USC-Notre Dame rivalry is coming back in 2030. Why? Because Netflix tried to buy the rights and got rejected. Wait, what? A streaming giant trying to poach one of the most iconic college football matchups and getting shut down? That's either a massive power play or a massive oversight. From my perspective, it shows how valuable these rivalries are, not just for the schools, but for the entire sports media landscape. And yet, the Big Ten turned down Netflix. Maybe they're not ready for the future, or maybe they're just afraid of what happens when you let a tech giant into the sports arena. Either way, it's a reminder that in sports, tradition is king, even if it's a little outdated. So what does all this mean for the future? Well, if you're a fan, you're probably seeing a lot of change coming your way. Streaming services are rewriting the rules, leagues are rethinking ownership, and traditional broadcasters are trying to keep up. But here's the thing, none of this matters if the fans aren't watching. And if they're not watching, then what's the point of all this chaos? The real question isn't whether Disney will win or LIV Golf will survive. It's whether we, as fans, are ready for a world where the rules of sports are being rewritten every single day. Because if we're not, we might find ourselves left behind in a game that's moving faster than ever before.